Alright, we see my movie be aquapa. Na memfa embra mega TV fidikesi so. Nyankopon enhyira obibia. Ministry di momfa encheme. Abusia we bebu audio bi amwatie. Na before say bebu audio no, my discuss some issues bi in a few minutes. Na yentimi enkotie the audio no ambe bebo e di actual no. Na yenim endra. The breaking news I can and I say free the office of the special prosecutor, that is OSP, Kisi Ejaben. Na nina say Airbus government official one nsensen bi sorry brana NDC for waban Emma even Martin Amidu eye hwehwemu de babonten na nsema na wokanya ne say scandal bi etimi akoso ewo US brana company bi omo airtom cars anase omo edi nsawoso mfanchemi jet na ewi akire no de wose na Ghana yenya film yenya nti we enema na mahama enso netiso na sema no mo kan wo honom government official one eyi na enim se government official one so den tam na ye kan obi a na oye the president say ni omuka se government official one yemfo ye ni mu obi a say the president because government officials ni na he is the leading and I say he is the commander in chief what you see it's a honor and I had better John the main hammer in time now the president and on there like I say government official one sana Martin Amidu so na busia along the line and aban sesan because omo e kan say mu yankasa e ma de to Ghana for so mo mu say yes see no and this for omo ayo man we different to the extent say omo etimi awia omo Ghana in japade ni omo sika to the extent say jet bi kra no ye ho etimi ebom e ho no e ho no man company na e wo US omo ba abonti be ka say case ni mfanchim case ni kra no more close and there is no government official one say for account obi bie ni wa na obom ewo government and I say oh Ghana no the case no case close obi anka na ntum obi anka ho hwe abusia ni nyinachi na MPP for eguso amodi ye propaganda na we na any stone so dem pa bo papo here na bi so be protest na that Airbus scandal omo hu the room mpanyinfo ka asem bi sɛ ohwehwe aboa n'ani ana so ohwehwe fun n'ani ase a wo saman nti aboa papo Ernest Nsu Bempa the deputy director of communications and my MPP emanyiko no na bi so no so ebe den be odi asem no beko akodan the OSP na ne din kan o na bi so koyi protest ewo John the Mani Mahama ne fie na kache na NDC for sorry some mo kan se mo fanche say hey hene ha yenti ase emma sansem no intimi enkoso na mom so wasem bia waban ene wo so enti sorry na fakodan president na ampan na pampa asemi ekoduru OSP say jabenim the dra na it is asem no omotimi acclaim mahama and din who some sabrobe there is no evidence actually say jet bi anase Airbus bi scandal bi woman din ebomo that is the news I know is a kind of way and as a medium fi atnase na otimi eti sembi egu akwam yes e kasa medium fi dia na woni say NDC and National Communications Officer a we na no ati papa na odi MPP for ko focus here e program so dia in fact omo ho kire mo even some of the hosts no kra no omo ho kire mo papa just put them in the tight corner. We in a way a copy a kusi sing dwumadi so asempa FM obi yes obi o say bonsu any o manhina santi o program chichirinki eso na busi ansem owura ne dia to dwade ano hyi watase wachiche amani aso obi aso e wa MPP ne mo ye beko ye kwa kuti ensema Sammy Gyamfi owura lawyer the up to it and message say we subscribe ya. This is the authentic platform. We subscribe for the test update. Don't find things in miss left because we need studio for internet. You subscribe to the channel no na like you no do so. I share na for intimate enya ebi ehwe media mega. You could see some from your coba yakabiana. The better so go program we so yakupon show.
Na be free for all enterprise will be a form of major party Kennedy Japan cross MPP for omu wia Ghana sika like there is no tomorrow no ye po bia obetumi aba be kwama Ghana mpanyi se aba ye de botechi no ye de beboba John Mahama wasomo May as vice president wasomo May as president
as sempa
a certain president Akuffo Addo edena ko OSP a statutory and anti-corruption body. Say no on account, which we all supported. Say adepa. Because we be sumo maya or say who say one day you can be called to account.
Yes.
And Obi or Chinebi say Obi nye vice president BM and now Obi nye president BM. Now you're two and some friend whether it is police or Yoko or special prosecutor or charge say bra. Na be account for your stewardship wa.
Emo obi a
yedebia. And then same way obi ATM ya untwanto because ABC live and colored. PDS he has questions to answer. And more ayira OSP hu prosecution because Bawumia chief administrator tre letter kuya businessman be mo and wasem beba. Ninwi anomo ayeba be come wasem. Benefiting from illegal source contracts left, right, center, and whatsoever. All these matters. The same thing applies to Akuffo Addo, the kingpin of the Ejapadia Kaba. They will answer, and I can't even go through his list. It's an endless list. Lastly, Obi, Ghana ni awutie me. And found say we NDC ni na we MPP ni. Fane say when ya kwenya na wasomo mai wakumapem. They said the special prosecutor who afa John Mahama hu. So his intentions were good at all material times. Na nipa bonefo bitimi ko shed them twatroto so say wabokro no waje bribe why you say wunti yakoto jet amagana boka na de keka ho enne adanse no na da ho. And this applies to all the many other lies they have peddled against John Mahama. None of them have been proven. All of them have been exposed by time. A precedent has been set. I was say a so. One who nim nyansa or experience wa brabomu or makase in kontumpo ya dia. Ene no kre esia kanya ebetumi adikan. But yet den kiane ke no kre beba be sign ho adi nkunim. Enti se wo obi a ode nkontumpo aye wo bra aye wo su ne wo ban a enche ne wani maguase. Because the throne will be immediate gratification be. But in a matter of time, you will be exposed. And no, any asemwa esina Ghana ni open ukrebia eniache. Enya ndisi for nkwani eniache. Any lover of the truth, any person who cares about fairness, who cares about justice is happy. It was under the first special prosecutor Martin Amidu na same way ekoto nanim. Papa ne hwe mu no. O se we nya nyina so bi e kire se John Mahama anase Ghana ban mu nipa bi abokro no because no asem na UK ni see UK SFO Serious Fraud Office na ye hwehwe mu no. Enti na o hwe ani mu so obebeboa no na omo ama no information intel adanse a omo wo no so wetimi agina so aye ni hwehwe mu. Ne nsanka in the Nam Sentino, UK, your close matter no. In the also a close matter no Ghana. And in fact, Martinami do be catch there and say one of the reasons in your resign was because of this matter. Because Akuffo Addo the pressure upon pressure to so before the 2020 elections, Fabibi Bra Bontimbe Gujo Mama who fee relative to this SF Airbus matter. Anybody watching me, Google it.
But also G2 say government official one year John Mahama.
Yes, he said that, but he said that there was no evidence of wrongdoing against John Mahama, and that they could not even proceed with the investigations because UK are close to investigations. And he says Akuffo personally called or no Martinamidu. Obi me boa ka cheme. E man ne pressure say chinchina won fa report bimra na omigujo mama hofi. Martinamidu said it. But no twa no asem fa na asem ko. And a special prosecutor for our buy kisi eja ben say ono de UK fo be my information mo my information obehwe. Nje ono ankasa fa kwan so bi so ekohu Jo Mahama nua your friend of Foster and Kaneno your friend of Samuel Adam Mahama echo investigating to tone no. You know there was a red notice for him by Interpol where oko investigate Jo Mahama nipa ye bobo mudi nyina no and na utie nsem odi abetu dwane na che say oni omu nyina ahia wa ye investigation shi na ewie komrane man ho kwan so was utimi hwe ni twetwebo na dia na special prosecutor ko hu ya obi ena ne ani je ma aba no special prosecutor answer no kan no de di kan ene say wo hu say Ghana ye wo kwan a ye fa so to wiem hyen e ma ya srafo sa kwan no emra da ho sa kwan no no man na fa so dia to wiem hyen efitete. Now, in the case of these 3 Airbus aircrafts, Ghana told me in 2011, Ghana told Bako in 2014. Special prosecutor so who say na famra kwanso pepepe. The process was clean, due process was followed. And in fact, we script no kind. This is what he said. The OSP investigation shows that in the general scheme of affairs, the acquisition of operational assets by the Air Force is driven by national and operational requirements. When a need is identified, the Air Force Command develops a technical paper upon which providers are requested to make presentations on technical details, logistics support, and cost. If a provider meets the requirement, a formal contract in the form of a sales and purchase agreement are drafted for the provider for the consideration of the Air Force. Thereafter, stakeholder meetings are held among representatives. Thereafter, the agreement is submitted to the Ministry of Defense for cabinet and parliamentary approvals. The Air Force then constitutes a compliance team to work closely with the provider to ensure that the delivered items meet the agreed specifications. Air Force, Ghana Straf for Faso de Turium share. And the special prosecutor found the process leading to the purchase of the government of Ghana by the government of Ghana of the 3 C-295 twin turboprop military transport aircrafts from Airbus followed the same pattern. Indeed, the 2 transactions were approved by Parliament in 2011. In accordance with the laws of Ghana, there was nothing remarkable about the deal. And the due process was followed. Asemwa Jo Mahama Kaye, NDC for Kaye, the Engineer Kaye. Obuba Kaye, Asemwena. Nebulous near more for speculations be echo because it is clean, due process was followed. This is Kisie Jabe, special prosecutor mandated by the laws of Ghana to do such investigations, not Sammy Gyamfi. Akuffo Addo ne kra na ema adwuma. Then the special prosecutor also found say John Mahama nua na your friend Foster MPP for say ni din sa say ono ne di animu ma Ghana koto plane ena ono na oje bribe be ma ni nua John Mahama ne nkrofo bi no ma Ghana boka no sa plane no kra no Ghana ban negotiating it from Airbus no na Foster kra no Airbus for nyamfa na adwuma as their agent obi and also reporting enti Ghana negotiated a successful deal for the procurement of the aircrafts even before John Mahama Nyanibemu. And this is what is contained in the report. Also, the OFC found no evidence that suggests that the involvement of Foster as an intermediary of Airbus and the direct communications and meetings between former President Mahama. Okay, no, this is a relevant passion. It also appears that Foster and Mahama and his associates became involved as intermediaries in the Airbus Ghana deal after the decision by the government in preference of the C-295 aircrafts. Therefore, it would seem that Foster's Airbus intermediary role at the time his brother was a vice president of Ghana was a case of luckless coincidence. Just Akuffo no Airbus for Ghana ne Ghana Air Force abe negotiate deal we am Ghana dia to say yeto aircraft na we eno achi ansa na Airbus for aircraft Mahamenu Foster say o me your agent. As well huntra MPP. Yakasa MPP for ye nipa bonefo a omutumi tena dem pa bo muslim say ye ntwatro ense nipa papa dia amanfo ntiase enwa danse. Then the special prosecutor also found say even the agency agreement Airbus and Foster John Mahamenu no eye no, even though it happened after the fact, after the deal had already been concluded no. When they were doing that arrangement, John Mahama was never involved. Was never involved. No be a conflict of interest. You are vice president in T and your fan is a agent for Airbus. The OSP investigation found no evidence that former President Mahama was involved or played any role in the procurement and maintenance of the agency relationship between Airbus and Foster and his associates in respect of the purchase by the government of Ghana of military transport aircrafts from Airbus. And it appears to the OSP that the direct communications we cry na drew me President Mahama. You see, and it appears to the OSP that the direct communications and meetings between former President Mahama and officials of Airbus to close the deal were actuated by good intentions on the part of the former president. Obi, this is the special prosecutor's verdict.
The OSP determined intentions.
The intentions. Because the evidence of onset, the negotiation of the deal itself, President Mahama was involved because he was vice president and chairman of the Ghana Armed Forces Council. His brother was not involved. His brother came in later. And special prosecutors in President Mahama and him. Now, meetings at President Mahama, or say President Mahama was interested, say Ghana being a good aircraft at a good price and based on a good deal. And see, even though he was vice president, he was having direct communications with the company. And also evaluating the President Mahama Juma was in the transaction. No, always a papa no na adwene akome kita no na yakomapa. Is obi nyame onayo. Se wuyi na wo som wo man a unyame emfa woni atamfo a ebe sogetia unyame besan wuti. People thought they were burying John Mahama, but they didn't know that he was a seed, and that the more you put him deeper in the ground, the more he will sprout out. And they said Joseph, ni nuanom and ni brenti on ye say no ye time no e ton no ni kotu amna mu de keka no mu free so mo say no mu say Joseph kwa akoye faro futufo no wakwakoye obi dache we abuampo amagana fo hu akoma pa John Mahama de Yejuma as vice president and president. The special prosecutor has spoken to that. Now obi de kra wo mu ni say special prosecutor say wo mu say deal ni nyina mu no kata hye ni proye bia ni wa na ewom asem na me pese obi ate ase nti na me fa na makoma sa no. This is what the special prosecutor said. The OSP found no evidence that suggests that the involvement of Foster as an intermediary of Airbus and the direct communications and meetings between former President Mahama and officials of Airbus to close the deal between Airbus and the government of Ghana amounted to any corruption and corruption related offense in respect of which the OSP has a mandate. No corruption. He continues to say, the OSP found no evidence, circumstantial or direct, which suggests that Foster Mahamenu and his associates were actually paid bribes, and which bribes were to be transmitted to former President Mahama, and that the bribes were actually paid to former President Mahama. Na da mudia bribe bi aso ni wa yetua ma Mahamenu ana yetua ma Mahama. MPP for enim guase a wonyame de begu omo no we na ye mfiti ase on tro bebrebe na mudi ye no onso nyame apa mo hontoma on say ne moni magu ase President Akuffo Addo sanse bibriba o kan ni nyina kosi say shame on you shame on you Akuffo when he went to the bar conference we refi the okeka here he clearly said that President Mahama is corrupt because he is government official one. And the special prosecutor is saying he's government official one, but everything he did as government official one, na ye with Akomapa ni adwempa, when tietia Ghana mraso. But
how do you react to what the country needed to know? Why the government official one? Once we identify who government official one is, you go into the judgment, everything government official one is supposed to have done in the judgment, no? Clear.
Who told you that? Because in the judgment, you know, there is no finding of wrongdoing against government official one. Ubi will be our in fact, John Mohammed UK 4-year or more criminal investigation in a way, and this was their verdict. The SFO of UK let away Ekoma Samuel Adam Foster, Mohammed Riano, and then the partners Philip Sean Middlesmith. Was a criminal investigation into Airbus, SC, and others. I write to notify you that following a review of the evidence in your case and consideration of the code from Crown prosecutors, a decision has been made that you are not to be prosecuted for any offense of the above serious fraud investigation. The decision might be reconsidered if a further review of this decision shows that it was wrong, or in order to maintain confidence in the criminal justice system, a prosecution should be brought or new evidence comes to light. And the special prosecutor said, there has been no such review or reconsideration. And to UK for so you are brofono. Almost so we say, John Mohammed and the partners did nothing wrong, for which reason almost they will not prosecute them. Special prosecutors or organs why in review or say John Mohammed did nothing wrong and John Mohammed did nothing wrong at the NBA. So the identity of government official one, what is it? Nothing. It only shows us, it helps us to know John Mohammed ni pabain. Da wo Ghana. Adwen power de ye na dwuma. And that is why o say no a enye. Masa obi papa emfie nso ne be fani. E na Ghana for eto abetia na mane kotena nche. Hwensem MPP for kato no so mra na otia konwa so. John Mahama Yokronfo we see Ridge Hospital what the boni biaka ho mebo. Akuffo Addo said it. John Mahama Yokronfo or the $10 million are printed presidential diaries. John Mahama Yokronfo wakwa kusisi hotels esi Dubai. Daily Guide, MPP tabloids, they said it. Captain Smart, no fear. He spoke about how MPP sponsored them. So Muni start to run into Mahama so. Kumasi Airport project runway or the scanny biato so. Abai we have better kumya so feel so ne fan. John Mahama say, baby I'm in hotels in the world Dubai no. Mume yonko ni yonko Tony Fesika dem ragana. Mekura mi yeska. Project amuse ma ya bokro no nyina no. Investigate me. Obi na we broach nti went me am marking Piski media encounter ni bi. But you watched it. He repeated it Nancy. Or say me minim se maso me man ye I've served this nation dutifully in good conscience. My legacy is there for all to see. Samuse ma bokro no an confuse so ne fani. Not even a scintilla of evidence has been able to establish a papa way, whether as deputy minister or as minister or as MP or as vice president or as president Wabokrono. The man is simply incorruptible. John Mahama de Katazeshene Krono Ebono Ebe why? Squeaky clean, ni fita ni so sabrobe. Because I dream pankwa or no dream mabunu kwaya be fast we be nyuma ma omo aye through 24-hour economy and ma kwaya be fast wa boa wo mo dwetira ye adwuma through women's bank. That is what John Mahama will tell you when you engage him. Nipo almost say ni din twa trotto no so no it's because they don't know the man. Now onyame be gu omo ni mu ase.
Let me read this part of the report. Now, yes. Reaction quickly. Yes. This part says, that's paragraph 4.38, page 9. Additionally, on or about 28th March 2012, Airbus made political contributions in the amount of 62,200 euros to a Spanish foundation related to agricultural development in Ghana. This contribution was not initially disclosed to the US. From the OSP report.
Okay.
Yeah, page 9.
Page 9.
Page 9, yes. Page 9. In the OSE, this contribution was not initially disclosed to the US authorities. Airbus subsequently disclosed it out of abundance of caution. No direct link between the political contribution and the relevant C295 sales has been identified to date. 4.39. Airbus accepted and acknowledged that it was responsible under US law for the act of its officers, directors, employees, and agents as charged in the DPA, and that the allegations described in the DPA are true and accurate. 4.40. Airbus also accepted that the facts were established beyond reasonable doubt and that the facts took place during the relevant time frame. OSP investigations, that's 5.0 OSP investigation. Notwithstanding the definitive pronouncement by the UK and the US courts on the accepted culpability of Airbus beyond reasonable doubt for bribery in relation to the sale of Ghana, to the sale to Ghana of C295 aircraft, it was imperative that criminal investigations be carried out by relevant Ghanaian authorities for several reasons. And wama reasons in state say because of the lack of cooperation by UK and US authorities in the investigations, he was now forced to rely on the DPA.
Yes,
do you think
investigations?
Yeah, but I've seen the investigations now were based on the court decisions.
No, one can say the investigation now was based on that.
No, that's what he said. My main kind
Okay.
Or say
he relied on it. It was one of the documents, but he himself met all the people and interviewed them. And he relied on the DPA for his investigations. No, it was one of the documents he relied on, but beyond that, he met all the affected people and interviewed them in his investigations and on the arrival at this report. But let me even deal with with what you read.
Yes. And the question said maybe so further evidence from omo cooperating on evidence maybe the conclusion be different. No.
Number one. Me de say me you a lawyer. Also so there is why a lawyer we are sir. Is there vicarious liability in crime?
No.
And on what kind call for more OSP ni church mu say case obi abokro no crime one obi commit a crime or for front to me into mu say me ma commit a crime and because of an admission it applies to the agents. No, it is not a thought. No, like I say, if the principal is guilty or if the agent is guilty, then the principal is guilty. When it comes to crime, it's not like that. Especially when the people that criminal allegation affects and they can speak for themselves. Sa investigation na Airbus kwajeje anya manu tu mu no. Samuel Mahama Foster was not a subject of it. Airbus investigation was not a criminal investigation. Samuel Mahama modie, they were subjected to criminal investigation. Criminal investigation verdict and said they will not be prosecuted because there is no evidence of wrongdoing against them. Airbus investigation here omo commercial you can say settlements. What about that? So in amicably settling a matter, then they go and make certain admissions. But the UK authorities knew said they could not use those admissions to prosecute Samuel Mahama. They had to investigate them and hear their side of the story. And when they did the investigation, they saw that there was no evidence of criminality against them. And no matter letter to that effect. The same thing the OSP found. And you could read any admissions of Airbus in the civil matter inconsequential because there is no vicarious liability in crime. And the criminal allegations have been investigated both by the UK authorities and by the OSP. Both of them say no crime on the part of either John Mahama or.
All right, so that is it. We in summer a year. Sammy Gyamfi so what me a to idam. And Dibia Meka, Abobi will be war pre. Abobia be war pre. Na Prinfubu baby say, Assembly Pinipa, but any pen on myself. Said the name is equal and how things are moving. Some of Kayan Che and a peace court, court of appeal at the Barbontin. And a occurrence me at the far Kissel at forcing. Some of Kai Kissel at forcing, and also the so they ambulance trials. Also say, Brandy Siwa Baimuno. Almost say, ambulance beer there was in car. Ensa Kana. Almost anka into an answer. Amagana Lususka about 2.7 million euros. Yes. The vision, that same way I go Fred Otame, the Attorney General, so a time to pay court. ABHD, and call for Akuffo Japa, yes, Richard Japa, Kofan Bass and Combra don't be there than Sekunum and Frontier to force an A in the top. Am I you tube? I was said you didn't the a year judge are not so as justice are not so. Mammy etnasi Eddie and said who any to say a year your baby are real not to say case there's no weight in the case and I say case in the case in the Quran you can say a proceeding. That is a case in fact a case I was say the tournament. Now more concentrating on different matters. We and summer a Bible thing among people for so many very because the reasons why I'm more packing judicial with judicial with their people and say and can send background as I send no any no correct. How money not maintaining castle no maintaining ember in favor of them. But in a may you say all these people they are recovering and they have seen what is happening, they have seen what is coming, what is the ever. Until Obibia, why not against all the Barbaro? Obibia, why not against one kind of correct because of able to maintain no more who say to me no and the best until for that matter they have to see whatever that is correct. They have to see, they have to bring a good verdict. They have to sit down and analyze things, not under influence of any political power and as a political party. Na politician bia sanse ni akufa nsema kise ubeka ya sanse ne bae no na MPP4 omu ngu moka because omu nsema no mukenya na se omu ejeli atofose omu prosecute no and as omu prosecute no omu edini tum se be MDC4 in bigu ase they don't get the time to campaign. Edibia was a Dibiano multi court, Dibiano multi court, but court of appeal. It's me the Bible and say no. This case, it is not case of beating a procedure bill because this is not a case of a hoodie water, and I say a hoodie any relevant evidence is a bit more to a case in so. And there was so much to honor. Na Japadia document kopa eba media na chese fidi asem na say fidi na chese MPP4 sisi omuhu yo munyomo because Japadia document semi wonni niema etwagu no busia asisi atwitwa so siam no kese MPP4 they in fear because opposition no etimi assure mo three now Japadia document to force in case any John Dramani Mama Airbus scandal I need my Babontina, which is very solid and political strategy and this NPP for more so far it. Did be American NDC for body mobile, but they drew baby as a mobile, no so subina, Sebi Yakakana, Momo, Betisona, Yankee and from Bukuma, And Nema, you President Akuffo Addo, we don't expect you to come and repeat it. And Nema, President Akuffo Addo, when you come to power, we don't expect you, we don't expect you to do the same. What you say? We don't expect you guys to do the same, because on mine, you have to stand in and deliver this country from economic hardship. And you are doing the many mama, they are come to, they are come to deliver us from economic woes. The person bubba, Sipi Bruce Binyano, Cynthia in Quansa Mokachi Ghana for a name of the Quansa Moya, and a mobile baby. It is a medium fee, Ninsema Quakuti, and na wope nsem no the full audio etia koko Asempa FM. Yes, Asempa FM YouTube channel no so ubeti nsem na yes ubeti nsem na bring say yes ran wakasa it is say the meaning no kwandi MPP4 DC for mu bo ma pre so mu hu di omoye say wankasa atena say hu say sikana omodi na from and omokondo position. And the most important thing na Emma position no plan omokondo so faster and say and send be between Biano, President Akuffo Addo and Akuffo Sansibiba. From this the committee, President Akuffo Addo and Oyeden Akuffo by. What I say, it is rather pushing Bomia to a position than say the Biana Waka. I will make sure Bomia succeed me, I will make sure Bomia do this, Bomia do that. Though, on the contrary, you are President Akuffo Addo, Nemu Biana, he is dragging Bomia to opposition. He is dragging Bomia to position with some of his utterances he makes, with some of the utterances he always announces and send be our camp. And in Libya, or change Bomia in a position. And in the meantime, he has not realized yet, but for the meantime, he'll come out and say, hey, I did yammy, and in fact, the doctor Bomia a co-position in MPP. And this is the reason why say we MPP na say MPP na can corral. Maybe bad so. You will account for what you have done. You will account the day of reckoning is coming. The day of reckoning is coming. You people will account for whatever you did. Whatever mess you've created, you will account for it. And the baby I can say NDC eba na say enima bi ti say sa ejapade book enima bi eti say 60.8 million Ghana cedis eyida anasi itufi Bank of Ghana no e wo say eden e wo so mo hwehwe mi kosi ase 60.8 million Ghana cedis eyida free Bank of Ghana no e so mo hwehwe mi ipa bi eti say King Ofurata. He has to be prosecuted. Nipa bi mo fantin generation is elect. Nipa bi eti say Asante Bedie too. He has to be prosecuted. Nipa bi eti say Gabi Asarachi Dako. He has to be prosecuted. Say Sankofo no mo hwehwe omo no mo hwe die tumadi omo wa mo ni sikatam. Enema omo ye e okuruma. What you say? Nipa bi te say Amakwata. Road and Highways Minister former, he has to be prosecuted. He has to be questioned. The reasons why, under what grounds, and Ujinaya Otim Edipia the road told him. All these people need to be prosecuted. People be at the say Kokwaji Mamanu and the Minister for I think or Minister for Health. This man has to be prosecuted. Scrutiny view no kwaji by na expire no. A kwan ben so no fire with me G saying he has to be prosecuted. Nipa bi ete say chese nneɛma a ɛkɔɔ so ɛwɔ Ghana airport during COVID-19 nkɔfoɔ bi de ɔmo nneɛma kɔsisi hɔ a na ɔmo wura ne test ne nyinaa no ayɛ akyire ebi so a na ɔnhu deɛ ɛkɔ ne nyinaa. All these people ɛne saa nneɛma wie atwa mu nyinaa they have to be prosecuted and account for any mess they have created. Nyankopɔn hyira mo din ana mega bɛsrɛ sɛ wobɛsubscribe to the channel no na walike dwumadie na wahyɛ na foforɔ ne bia me maame kyie baafo hwɛ me fidi yɛkɔ America. Akuffo hyira me maame. Me maame wɔ yɛ bi so hwɛ me UK ɛne other countries no Germany, Canada, UK ɛne Italy baabi a mohwɛ yɛ firi biara no Nyankopɔn ɛnyɛ mo kɛseɛ. This is the authentic channel a wo subscribe to a so wobɛtumi atie deɛ ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ man kronkron Ghana mu. Mefa nkyɛn mfiri bi sɛ me nsa left no memfa wo si pɔde ne ade bɛsɛ ahyia makraw. Bye bye.